Good morning, student. Today I am going to teach you chapter 3rd, that is fiber to fabric. First of all, we teach what is a fiber. Fiber is a long single strand thread from which clothes are made. Fibers are two types, natural fibers and synthetic fibers. In these chapters, we will study the natural fibers. Natural fibers are those fibers which are obtained from plants and animals. Cotton, flax and jutes are plant fibers, and the wool and silk are two main animal fibers. Now we will discuss about animal fibers. First is wool. Wool is the most commonly used animal fiber. Wool is the soft, wavy hair which comes from body of a sheep. Another animals which yield wool are sheep, goat, yak, camel, llama and alpaca. Wool yielding animals have a thick coat of hair on their body to keep them warm during cold winter season. Wool is most commonly obtained from sheep. Now we will discuss what is a selective breeding. The hairy skin of a sheep has two types of fibers that form its fleece. The first is the coarse beard hair and the second is the fine soft under hair close to the skin. The fine hair provides the fiber for making wool. Some breeds of sheep possesses only fine under hair. Those parent sheep are specially chosen so as to give birth to baby which have only soft under hair. The process of selecting parent sheep for obtaining special characteristics in their offspring is called selective breeding. Next topic is production of wool. Wools come mainly from sheep. In order to obtain wool, sheep are reared and bred. Their hairs is cut and proceed into wool. In this, first step is rearing and breeding of sheep. Rearing of sheep means to look after the sheep by providing them food, shelters and health. The person who look after the sheep are called shepherds. Sheep are herbivorous and prefer to eat grass and leaves. Certain breeds of sheep have a thick coat of hair on their body which yields good quality wool in large quantity. These are called sheep of good breeds. Such sheep are selectively bred by choosing at least one parent sheep of good breed. Once the reared sheep have developed a thick coat of hair, the hair is cut off for getting wool. The cut off wool coat of a sheep, a thin layer of skin, is called fleece. The fleece consists of soft woolen fibers. The fleece of sheep is usually kept in one piece. Now I am going to describe you how wool is obtained from sheep. There are so many steps for obtaining wool. First is shearing. The hair of sheep along with a thin layer of skin called fleece are removed from the hair of sheep. The process of removing hair or cutting off hair from the body of sheep in the form of sheep is called shearing. The hair of sheep are cut off by using a cutting machine similar to that used by barbers. The hairing of sheep is removed in one piece. Shearing does not hurt the sheep because the uppermost layer of the skin of sheep is dead. Second is scouring. The fleece of sheep contains dust, dirt, dried sweat and grease, etc. So the fleece must be obtained before it can be proceed into wool yarn. The fleece of sheep is thoroughly cleaned by washing with soap or detergent and a lot of water in tanks. The process of washing the fleece that removes dust, dirt, dirt, sweat and grease is called scouring. Third is sorting. The process of separating the fleece of sheep into sections according to the quality of woolen fibers such as fine, coarse, long, short, etc. is called sorting. Every section of wool obtained after sorting contains the same quality wool. The same quality wool obtained from the fleece of large number of sheep are then mixed together. Next is dyeing. The natural fleece or hair of sheep is white, brown or black in color. The white woolen fibers obtained by sorting can be dyed in different colors. Combing. Combing is a method to prepare woolen fibers for spinning the yarn. This is done by using combs having metal teeth. The process of combing straightens the entangled woolen fibers and also removes the small fluffy fibers which may be caught in them. Spinning. The long woolen fibers are spun or twisted into thick yarn called wool, which is used for knitting, sweater, etc. The short woolen fibers are spun into fine yarn and then woven on a loom is made woolen clothes like shawl, etc. The process for making wool. Some workers who do these jobs got a disease that is called sorters. The sorters job is very risky because sometimes they get infected by the bacteria called anthrax, which cause a deadly blood disease called sorter disease. The risks faced by people working in an industry due to the nature of their work are called occupational hazards. Sorter disease is an occupational hazard. Now, second animal fiber is silk. Silk is a fine, strong, soft and shining fiber produced by silkworms in making their cocoon. Silk is called resham in Hindi. Silk is a natural fiber which is obtained from an insect called silk moth. So silk is an animal fiber. Silk fiber is made of protein. Silk is the strongest natural fiber. The soft looking silk yarn is as strong as a comparable thread of steel. Silk fibers are converted into silk yarn which is used for making silk cloth. The silk cloth is then used for making saris and other dresses. The rearing of silkworms for obtaining silk is called sericulture. Sericulture means silk farming. Sericulture is very old occupation in India. India produces a lot of silk on commercial scale. We describe that how this silk is obtained. We must know the life cycle of a silkworm. The life history of silk moth is a kind of insects. Life history of silk moth is interesting because silk moth is not formed as such from the eggs directly. The silk moth passes through a worm-like stage called larva or caterpillar and an encased form called pupa. During its development between the hatching of egg and formation of adult silk moth. The larva and pupa stages in the life history of silk moth are totally different appearance from the adult silk moth. The larva of a silk moth which produces silk is called silkworm. We can describe the last history of silk moth as follows. The female silk moth lays eggs on the leaves of a tree. The eggs hatch to form worm-like larvae. When the silkworm is ready to enter the next stage of development called pupa, it first weaves a net to hold itself. Then it swings its head from side to side in the form of figure of 8. Next, during this movement of head, the silkworm secretes silk in liquid form through the tiny opening its head, which solidifies on exposure to air and becomes silk fibers. The silky covering spun by the silkworm of silk moth is called cocoon. The silkworm continues to develop in the form of pupa inside the cocoon to form the silk moth. When the pupa develops fully to form an adult silk moth, then the cocoon slips out and a beautiful moth comes out. The adult female silk moth then lays 100 eggs. In this way, the life history of silk moth is completed, which we are showing in a diagram. Now there is a various steps in the production of silk. First is rearing of silkworm to obtain cocoons. A female silk moth lays hundreds of eggs at a time. The eggs of silk moths are stored carefully on paper strips and sold to silkworm farmers. The farmers keep these eggs at suitable temperature and humidity under hygienic conditions. The eggs are then warmed to a suitable temperature for hatching. When the hatch, silkworms come out of eggs. The silkworms feed on mulberry leaves. They eat day and night and grow big in size. After about 25 to 30 days, the silkworm stop eating and get ready to spin cocoons. The silkworm enclose themselves completely inside the silken cocoon in 2 or 3 days. Processing of cocoons to obtain silk fibers. All the cocoons are collected at one place. The pile of cocoon is used for obtaining silk fiber. This is done as follows. The pile of cocoon is placed in hot water. Hot water makes the silk fibers of cocoon to separate out. The long safe fibers are obtained by unwinding the threads from cocoons. The process of taking out silk fiber from the cocoon for use as silk is called reeling. Reeling is done in a special machine which unbind the fibers of silk from cocoon. Converting silk fiber into silk cloth. Silk fibers obtained from cocoons are spun to form silk thread called silk yarn. The silk yarn is then woven on looms into silk cloths by the weavers. Different varieties of silk. Some of the varieties of silks are mulberry silk, tussar silk, munga silk, kosa silk and aris silk. These silks are obtained from cocoons spun by silkworm of different types of silk moth. The most common silk moth in the mulberry silk moth. The silk obtained from the cocoons of mulberry skin moth is called mulberry silk. Mulberry silk is soft, lustrous and elastic and can be dyed in beautiful colors. The most common variety of silk is mulberry silk. Now, what are natural silk and artificial silk? Natural silk is obtained from the cocoons of silkworm and it is made of protein. Natural silk is an animal fiber. Artificial silk called rayon is obtained from wool pulp and it is made of modified place material called cellulose. The last topic of the silk is discovery of silk. The discovery of silk was made in China a long time back. It is said that the Chinese Emperor Sai Lung Shai was asked by the emperor find the cause of the damaged leaves of mulberry trees in their garden. The empress found some white worms eating up mulberry leaves. She also noticed that these worms were spinning shiny cocoons around them. A cocoon dropped into a cup of tea accidentally and delicate silk thread separated from the cocoons. This is how silk was discovered by chance. The discovery of silk led to the beginning of silk industry in China. The silk production in China was kept a secret for hundreds of years. Later on, traders and travelers coming from China introduced silk to other countries. Thank you. I hope you will understand the chapter. Now you are able to do exercises and give out question answers.